Hello, welcome to Camp Tadmor in Lebanon, Oregon. My name is Ernest and I'm with Brookwood Productions. Today we're going to step you through our stage setup, equipment, and the kinds of services that we provide. To begin with, this is a middle school and high school camp. This is a week-long camp. Let's talk through some of the challenges of this particular space. This is called the Forum. And here at the Forum, you can see that half of the facility is concrete, and the other half of the facility is wood. And as you can tell by my voice, it's all reflective. Everything in this space reflects sound, making it very challenging from an audio perspective. Another fun challenge of this space is see the opening over there? It's open to the outside. There are no doors here. Those are just bits of cloth that are covering openings that lead directly outside. So there are plenty of chipmunks. There's bats living in the rafters. There is just dust everywhere in this space. So it is not conducive to a typical setup. We've got to be creative in the way that we operate here. As we head on up to front of house, we'll take a look at our audio, video, and lighting systems. For video, we're just running a standard Pro Presenter setup. So we got Pro Presenter running on a NUC that's tucked around under there. That comes across the three screens that you see there, 1, 2, and 3. We have a Behringer wing full-size console. Again, covers are really important in this particular space. And then for lighting, we're utilizing Lightkey, and I've got a MIDI controller that's just connected to it there for how things are set up. Lighting is very interesting here. We'll dive into that more in depth in a bit, but we're utilizing 8 universes to control the lighting in this space. So yeah, we got some fun stuff going on. You see one of our front wash movers right there. Strapped it down. And there are a couple of more that are hanging on the pole on either side over there. All right, let's talk audio. We've got the Behringer wing full size, which contains all of our processing. I decided not to bring out waves for this particular event. These speakers are the QSC L series line arrays. So that's the LA112 up top and the LS118. They are in a cardioid array setup. The cardioid setup here is really important in this space because it focuses all of that low-end energy out to the audience and prevents it from washing back onto the stage or washing back behind the stage. On stage, the band is utilizing the Behringer P24 for their in-ear mixes. The P24s are really handy for a pop-up setup like this, because it's physical faders. There's not a lot of training that needs to be done on this system. They simply press the button and it brings back the names of the different instruments and everything that's being fed directly from the board. So it's a very intuitive system, makes it fantastic, again, for a pop-up event like this, where the band's not used to the system and how things are functional. Another really neat part about the Behringer P24s is that they can be fed back into a wireless in-ear system as well. So the mix from that is actually sent back to the board up there, which I can then route to a wireless in-ear system. Again, just lots of flexibility there in the way that we're able to set things up and support the band and what they're doing. Let's head on backstage. This is our backstage area. The camp also uses this area for events, so we have to be careful and selective in how we set things up. Kind of the core of our setup here is a network rack. Again, look at this dust. This is just one of the challenges of being in this space. There's going to be lots of dust. We've got a Unify network setup that's kind of the core of everything that we're doing. Down here, we've got the Fenix Pro PTM10s. These are the wireless in-ears. And below that is also the Fenix Pro. This is their 8-channel wireless. We use a mix of handheld and body packs. Now, Fenix Pro's not sure. It's not Sennheiser, right? It's a lower quality brand. The microphones themselves sound amazing. The radio side of their setup is weak. The way that we compensate for that is by utilizing a proper antenna distribution system, which they make. So their wireless distribution system connects to a couple of paddles. We have 2 paddles, one on either side of the stage here, and with the proper settings and setup on it, they're rock solid, absolutely rock solid. So again, we're utilizing a combination of handhelds and headset mic as well for the pastor in this setup. So there's one of the headset mics, there's one of the handhelds, and just rock solid performance. They sound fantastic. Getting back to the audio side, on the back of this rack, which is going to be a little difficult to see, is an S32. So there's our S32 right there. It's again a Behringer stage box. We've got drums directly connected to it. All this stuff over here is going to wireless. So that's how we've got drums connected. And then there's coming off of that is a stage box that's running out there for all of the microphones. It's kind of sitting off over here in front of that pillar. And that's where all the rest of the system flows into. We run out of that into a DBX, turn this around here, into a DBX processing system that's powering the speakers and does a lot of our audio EQ. And then up top you can see the P24 hub. Speakers themselves are fed with Dante. So big fan of using networking where possible. It just reduces the number of cables that we have to run. So here on the back of the speakers, all we have is power and then the networking running into them. And that networking allows us to control the speaker components as well as feed audio to the system. That is our audio setup. Now in this space, drums are loud. Hey, there's our stage box. So that's an additional 16 inputs. Drums are crazy loud in this space. So while we do have mics on everything, the only microphone that we're using on the drum kit is for kick. Everything else is just turned off at this point because it's useless. These line array systems are amazing for filling the space. They direct that audio and right to the audience, right? It's essentially beaming at a 15-degree angle from the speaker to the audience. Now, the downside of using a line array setup like this is that it is a 90-degree dispersion when you're looking side to side. So once you get somewhere about here-ish in the middle of the room, you lose the audio from those speakers, and that's where our front fill comes in. Front fill today, or for this event, I chose the Turbosound IP300. And the reason I did that is it's a column array, which drastically reduces any feedback issues if the pastor decides to walk down here in front of it. Secondly, it has an incredibly wide dispersion. It's about 140 degrees from side to side. And this being a youth event, the kids do crowd down here to the very front of the stage during worship. And we needed something that was going to be able to fill this entire area as well as cover these front few seats, and wasn't going to be causing us a lot of reflection, so we can keep the volume nice and low on that. All right, let's talk through audio or lighting. You saw that we were using Lightkey to control everything. That Lightkey computer is wireless. I did not have the time nor the energy to pull yet another network cable up top. So it's actually wirelessly connecting into our Unify system. From there, the signal comes out of Lightkey and into this PK Night ArtNet node. This is a 4-universe ArtNet node. And that ArtNet node is feeding these wireless DMX transmitters. These wireless DMX, there's 3 of them, so 3 different universes of wireless DMX. Those wireless DMX transmitters can talk to our 360 tubes, which we use for pop-up events. There was a carnival out behind this building yesterday, and there's going to be a dance party in here tonight, so the 360 tubes are just a versatile add-on when we need them. And they also run up to, you can see the wireless dongle on the back of that wash fixture up there. So it just reduces the amount of cabling that we have to do significantly. So up here we've got on the right side there, a 19 by 15 wash fixture. On the left is just a generic 150 watt beam fixture. I'm not happy with these beam fixtures. They do not have the output that we need. When the room's dark and you're using pure white, they're great, and you'll see that in the video. Anything outside of that, and it doesn't work. So we have 4 of these color 19 by 15 watt fixtures, the wash fixtures, 2 on this side, 2 on the stage, and then 2 on trees on either side of the stage, and 4 of the 150 watt beam fixtures. We move up here to the front. We've got 2 more beam fixtures. These are actually a lower wattage. These are 100 watts. Again, they're fine when things are dim. They're not very great otherwise. And then these pixel bars. Now, these pixel bars are interesting and a very great creative tool because they have 3 different elements in them. The strip here across the top and bottom is RGB. So red, green, blue, we can change it any color that we want to, and it's controllable in 6 LED elements. So these 6 LEDs here, I can turn them on independently of everything else, which allows us to do some fun chases across the front, or just a very creative tool there. These elements are pure white. So when you turn these elements on, and there's one, this is a second element, third element, which means I can control these independently of each other. Again, it's just pure white, and it gives us some great flexibility. These big bulbs in the middle are a warm white, and they're a beam, so they create some nice atmosphere when you've got haze in the room. Again, individually controllable across the stage. So when we talk about eating up channels, that's a great way to eat up some DMX channels. These, by the way, are also completely wireless. You'll notice there's no cables here. The setup here was fast, it was furious, and we didn't have to, they're just trying to fit a bunch of cables and deal with the dust and the cleanup and everything else just isn't worth it here. So these are completely wireless, they're battery powered. We kick them on, they run for 6-8 hours before they need to be recharged. So just fantastic fixtures. We run them for a couple of days. These guys back here are from Pro Church Lights. These are their pixel bars from Pro Church Lights, and these make up the other 4 universes. So these 8 bars across the back here, all connected with Ethernet to a hub that's in the middle of the screen over there on the far side of the stage. That we got right over there. That hub is running off of SACN. So if you're familiar with DMX, or you're familiar with Lightkey, you might be wondering, how in the world is he running 8 Universes out of Lightkey because it only supports 4 on ArtNet, and that's how we're running 4 on ArtNet and 4 on SACN. So that is our setup here. It is, I'm not going to say compact because it did take a 16-foot box truck to get everything here, but I think it's very clean and somewhat simple for what we're trying to accomplish here, which is, well, to be frank, it's an amazing view, right? We're trying to set things up so that it's the band here just shines, and their talent is amazing. Oh, and for haze, we're using the ADJ On Tour Haze Pro. This is an oil-based hazer, not a water-based hazer. We'll go through it quickly, but there's a whole thing on haze versus fog versus low fog. Typical fog machine that you pick up somewhere, a haze machine you pick up somewhere, uses a water-based hazer, and it creates poofs of smoke into the room that hangs out there. We're not looking for that here. I'm not looking to create an atmosphere that feels dense. All I'm trying to do is accent the lights and make sure that their beams show. So a water-based fog machine would not be effective here. A water-based hazer could work, but the problem with water-based hazers is that the haze congregates because it's water droplets that are hanging out in the air. And so that becomes heavier than air. And when you're talking about a space like this that's full of dust, those water particles cling onto the dust and then they just fall straight to the ground. So it would take a lot of water-based haze to make this room effective. Oil-based hazers utilize a compressor to microscopically create tiny little itty-bitty particles of oil that get distributed into the air. It does not create, you can see we've been here for several days, it does not create any oily surfaces or leave oil residue if you use them correctly. And by correctly, I mean you're not trying to make the room feel like it has haze. You're trying to put particles into the air that the beams of light can interact and play with, and that's it. Once you reach that point of saturation, you turn the hazer off. And it hangs forever. It will hang in this room for 1.5 to 2 hours once we get it rolling. So that is our setup. I am going to turn off the lights in here and haze up the room, and then we'll come back and show you what stuff looks like. And welcome back. Or as the kids here have taught me to say, welcome back, chat. It's low-key going to be a W of a day, I think. I probably got that wrong. Anyway, here's one of our setups, lighting presets. You can see the haze and those 150 watt beams, again, in the dark, fantastic. Wash them out a little bit or try to put color on them, not so fantastic. But they're working out very nicely for us here. You can see across the back the nice gentle fade from black into the blue. Again, that pixel control is amazing. We switch up some of the looks here. You can see the pixel bars both in the back and on the front of the stage. The effects that we can create with these, almost infinite. So one of my favorite looks here, and the ability to control the kind of emotion that we've got going on. Pixel bars in the back doing some nice movement. The beams just flashing around. Again, that gradient on the back from the cyan to the green and across the front from cyan to green adds some real depth to what's going on here. Let's take a look at kind of a crazy one. So here's the movers actually moving. Pixel bars doing their thing in the back. The bars across the front, notice we're using the warm white elements here on this particular look. So purpose and point here is just to create atmosphere that matches whatever the band is doing, because that's what we're here for. Front wash, nice and even across the space, and it's color corrected for video. I did decide not to set up our video recording systems for this event. There wasn't enough time, and the environment that we're operating in is less conducive to keeping cameras in good working order. We utilized some of their pre-existing bars here in the back to hang the front wash fixtures. These are again 19 by 15 watt, but these ones are specifically white, warm white, so they're not RGB. I can't do any color out of these fixtures. It's just purely for stage wash. Now, something I want you to notice here is you see how clear the video is. You can't detect the haze. The haze, you can see the beams of light, but it's not getting in the way of the video. And that's the beauty of a proper hazer. Again, as I said, in this particular space, the oil hazer is what makes that effect very possible in a space that's otherwise would be very dirty and challenging to make that happen. So yep, that's our lighting setup. Audio wise, this is a cell phone. I'm not going to record audio in here because it would be useless to you. It sounds amazing. I'll just put it that way. We've engineered the system well, and the band that's playing here is phenomenal. So that's a really, you can only enhance the talent that's on stage, and the talent in this particular case is phenomenal and makes it very easy for us to enhance appropriately and make them well heard. Final thing I'm going to show you is what we do standard for events like this to take care of the band, because our purpose as a production company is to come in and support the folks who are on stage and what they're trying to accomplish. And there are some ways that we do that just to make their lives a lot simpler. So I'll show you some behind the stage stuff here in just a moment. And here we are back behind the scenes again, behind the stage. Again, creature comforts are an important thing. We are at a camp that is out in the middle of, well, practically nowhere. It's at minimum half hour to get anywhere, more like an hour to get anywhere with good stuff. So to take care of our folks on stage, we made sure that we provided plenty of refreshments, drinks, protein bars. Throat coat tea and the throat coat lozenges are amazing for singers, especially when you're doing like we are here, where there's 2 sessions a day. That stuff it's really important to take good care of our folks. As far as our pack up and load out, we utilize some very large, very heavy road cases that just has everything that we need in it. So all of our direct boxes, more microphones, tons of XLR in there. We've even got some special microphones for violins and horns, that sort of thing. Lots of power cords, stage power, everything that you could potentially need on stage, we've provided for it here. I'm not sure where they're hanging out. Oh, here we are. We also make sure to bring spare capos, spare guitar picks, and even some drumsticks that we carry with us as default to every gig. You just never know when somebody on stage is going to need something that's unusual, or something that they wouldn't think you carry, but you do carry it, and it can save the show in a lot of cases. So that's our pack up, that's our pack out, that's our backstage setup that we've done for everybody. The rest of this equipment, I might record another video later, but we've got a QSC KC12 setup, which is a line array. It's a sub that goes on the floor with 2 elements on top of it for the mids and highs. So it's a 3-way speaker system. There's going to be a dance in here tonight, so maybe I'll record a video and show you what those look like and how they function. We brought extra equipment for here because we knew there was going to be a lot going on, and it's a large camp, dozens of acres of property, and there are things happening everywhere. You never know what we need. These are the house speakers and systems that we pulled down when we first got here. So yeah, that is behind the scenes with Brookwood Productions at Camp Tadmor in Lebanon, Oregon. Thanks for watching, everybody.